Good evening. Welcome to the October 21st Board of Fire Commissioners budget meeting being held at Bronxville Town Village Hall. Today we're going to discuss the finalization of the budget that's up for public notice today. In summary, this is a follow-up that we had from our budget hearing meeting that we had last month. In total, the budget that we're going to be passing will be $17,266,839,096. So we'll discuss that. Let's start the meeting by a pledge of allegiance with the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
All right, John, do you want to speak to anything? Okay.
There's highlights?
Yeah. What's the same one we had from the budget hearing meeting?
Right.
Good evening. We're proposing approval of the budget tonight. The highlights of the 2015 budget are as follows. All firefighter positions have been filled and funded. All other positions funded in 2014 are funded in 2015.
Funded.
There is a 5% increase in premiums for medical and hospital in this budget. Substantial savings are provided for engineering review of the district's firehouses for the purpose of setting up a capital plan to renovate or upgrade these locations. The budget includes a 13% reduction in overtime for 2015, resulting from the hiring of nine new firefighters in 2014. There's a 7% reduction in the district's contribution for retirement. There is a large savings for each new firefighter that is hired to replace a retiring top-paid firefighter for at least the first couple of years of their hiring. All of this said, it results in a 0.75% reduction in the district's tax levy for 2014.
Okay, thank you, John.
One last thing, the only other change is we've added the line for overtime and fire prevention, and we took it from the regular overtime line. So in total, it's the same number. The budget hasn't changed.
Hasn't changed, okay. All right, before I read the resolution, do any of the commissioners have any questions on this? You're good?
I'm good. I
Okay.
reviewed it last month, or last week,
Yeah, reviewed. So,
last meeting.
So we are seeing basically a reduction in real estate property tax as it relates to the fire department levy of 0.74%. The total reduction of the entire budget compared to last year and this year is 1.39%. So effective savings over 2014's budget and 2015's budget of $242,547. Okay. So that being said, I'm going to read this. You want to read this one?
You want to turn it to public comment
After
first?
the closing. Should we do it? I have one at the closing on the agenda.
Yeah, but maybe the public wants to speak on it?
So let's open up to the public if anybody's got any questions. Go ahead, Sean.
No, none of your business, no comment.
You can help me out a little bit. It says under outside services, Jerry, where,
Give me the line.
I'm sorry,
know the
outside
line?
services are, where, oh, sure, sorry.
Oh, the first one.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, okay.
Now, is that an increase from last year? Because last year, when you showed me the budget, when you guys handed out the budget last year, your up-to-date version, it was 9,000.
So, John, we have 12 and 12 across on this one. So outside services, right now it shows no increase or decrease. It shows the same amount.
So it is the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Then under EMT pay, I noticed if you go to the second page, and it says 3410.19.
right?
All right, you have 153,600 for January to December 14, but then when you do January to December 15, it goes down to 45,000, which is a decrease in 108,000.
That was
Okay, I'm
the
just-
training. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's okay.
That was the training amount.
Yeah, on the EMT pay.
Yeah.
The EMT pay is already included in the salaries up above.
Right.
Already included in the
That's
base.
why that's not, okay, thank you, I appreciate that. Okay,
We realize the EMT pay in the overall salary run.
okay.
That's how you got
Thank
it
you.
paid.
I
It's not a
just,
separate
just
line
there's a
item.
big difference from what, you go from 153 to 45, so.
Right. You're not losing it, you're losing it in that line item, but
Okay.
you're getting it in the other line item.
That's fine. And the consultant fees, the reason why they're up, professional consultants fees, because the district has retained an engineer or is going out to get a
So what we
engineer to
did,
check
what we
on
did
the
in
fire?
consultant is we put anything as far as outside services go, which includes legal,
Okay.
which will include engineering, all into one bucket.
Fine.
So that's why it looks like an increase. But then what isn't here is, we took out the $32,000 that we had in there from last year to identify a district lawyer.
Okay.
So that went into that bucket. So it's a blend of all outside services is basically what it ends up being.
Okay, and here's my last two questions. You have attorney's fee and labor consultant attorney. Are they one and the same? In other words, we have line 3410.41, you have attorney fees, 36,000, and then when you go down to 3410.48, you have labor consultant / attorney for 84,000.
Accountant's attorney fee is $1,650. Is that one? 341042?
If you go to the second page, Jerry, right on the EMT pay, it says attorney fee.
It's
It
actually
says 36,000.
was this, am I looking at the right one?
Are you talking about line 3410.48?
4-1. Go to 4-1 first. It says, it's right on the EMT pay. It says
Right,
30
okay.
36,000.
Oh, attorney fees.
But now if you go down to consultants' fees,
Yeah,
then
so,
then it says labor consultant attorney. Now, is it one and the same, or did you eliminate that line?
that attorney fee was the district attorney that we used to retain every month,
Okay.
Right.
and that's why I went to zero. So that's why in 14 you see 36,000, and in 15 you see zero,
Because it's going into that one bucket.
because it's going
It's
into that
into
one
the
bucket.
line. All right.
Same for
And
labor.
here's the last question. I noticed we have a hydrant rental there.
Right.
I can get the, if you go to the first page, and you go to 3080.2, it says hydrant rental, and for this present year is 216,000. Then for next year, it goes to 132,000, which is a difference, a decrease in 84,000. Why is that decreased?
It's because of Bronxville.
Bronx, okay, go ahead, you can speak to
Go
that.
ahead.
You did the math. Bronxville took the,
Bronxville has opted into putting it on their taxpayers' bill instead of charging us for it.
Okay,
So it's a broader basis when we apply to churches, things like this.
okay.
so in summary, Bronxville decided to take the rental fee and blend it into their taxes to the individual taxpayers. The rest of the cities didn't do that.
So the Village of Tuckahoe did?
Not into their water bill, I'm sorry, into their water
No,
bill,
no, I'm talking about
their
hydrant.
water bill.
I'm not talking about
to
tax.
their water bill.
Yes, yes.
Their water bill.
It was an optional law that
Right.
local municipalities had to opt into if they wanted.
Right.
Bronxville has chosen to take advantage of that. What it's doing is spreading the hydrant fee out to all
Water
water
bill.
bills.
It's going to be on their water bills.
Not taxes, but into the water
Right.
bills. So it's actually spreading the cost out amongst all the users
Correct.
in the district.
So the
Or in the
citizens,
So Bronxville, the only one that did it,
Right,
and
so in the-
Tuckahoe
in
and
the-
Eastchester opted
not.
not to.
right, so in the past, citizens, it's a tax, effectively this.
Right, it is a tax, right.
So we were collecting it as the fire district. Now Bronxville has opted in, the water company's going to collect it on their individual homeowner's water bill.
Okay. Now, here's my follow-up question. I don't know too much about the law, but based on the reduction, is that the reduction because of what the Village of Bronxville did? Because my understanding of the law, the little understanding I have, that if that's what you do, you reduce your taxes, then you reduce your budget by that much. Is that what you gentlemen did?
No,
Yeah,
it's really a transfer of that money, though.
this, the way
Instead
I'm
of-
saying is that the reduction is the amount, first of all, you gotta
Reduction.
realize, we don't pay the hydrant fees outright. It actually comes through the individual, the town, or the village.
And then comes to us.
Right.
We share the cost. We share the cost with Eastchester, but there's been a long-standing formula as to the percentage, maybe 30-some-odd% of Bronxville's hydrant fee, the district covered. What they've done is they've opted to let United Water spread that cost out into all of their water bills. Right. So what you're actually, in essence, doing is spreading it out over more people because you're now including people that were tax exempt.
Right, no,
Proper-
I understand
properties that would
but
tax
That would
exempt.
also help you reduce your budget. In other words, unless I have it wrong, unless John wants to jump in, what I'm saying is you reduce that, so that's why that number went down, because of the reduction of, say, the village of Bronxville.
In the
operating.
case of our budget, yes. In the case of the taxpayers, no, they're
No,
not.
no, I understand that, but that's the reduction in the budget.
Right.
Is that, am I?
Yep.
That's it, okay,
Yeah.
that's it, thank you very much.
All right.
Anyone else?
Actually,
Anybody
can I just ask John, the vehicle maintenance line, now, these numbers you're showing for 14, were these projected or last year's budgeted amount? Or, wait a second, I lost the line.
What line are you
32,
looking at?
3210.3. Second page,
Last year, we had the,
right?
I think it was a ladder,
3210.3.
we had a ladder truck that was fixed for 30-ish thousand.
Ladder 17 was fixed for 32 grand.
Well, that was in, the budget was amended to include that.
So that,
So it's not shown in this year's budget. There's an actual reduction on the line because we don't expect that expense to happen again.
okay, I'm actually losing the spot that I was looking at, but,
Right there, Mike?
Yeah.
3210.3.
oh, no, the vehicle maintenance line, that's, okay, the 117, thank you. No, a little bit above that.
Okay.
Line 3210.3, Commissioner
Yeah.
Megara, it was 117, was that, is this an actual number that you're reducing to 90?
No, that's the budget from last year. We had a budget number, we had to improve it, increase it to cover the ladder. So that's the amended
In
budget
other words,
number.
last year's amount was 90,
Yeah, I don't know exactly, yeah, 87, 90.
and that was the additional monies that were moved from a different to cover the tower ladder repairs?
That's correct.
Okay, okay.
Something there.
That?
Something there. Okay,
Yeah. Any other comments? Anyone? One once, one twice?
that's it.
I make a motion, we close the public comment? The public?
Make a motion to, I second it?
All those, well, you're the chairman's.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Public comment at what time?
I got 7:53. Or by my clock. 19:53, because it does military time.
Okay, so that being said, I'm going to read in the legal notice to the public. All right. Notice is hereby given that the proposed budget of the Fire District of the Town of Eastchester, State of New York, will be presented to the Board of Fire Commissioners of the Town of Eastchester Fire Department for its consideration. A public hearing has been held at 7:30 p.m. at Bronxville Village Hall, Public Meeting Room, 200 Pondfield Road, Bronxville, New York, on Tuesday, October 21st, 2014. Pursuant on town law, the Board of Fire Commissioners must hold a public hearing on the third Tuesday in October to discuss the content of the proposed budget, make the proposed budget available to the public prior to the public hearing, allow the public to comment on the budget at the public hearing. The public hearing must be held to allow maximum publication at the hearing. The purpose of the public hearing is to allow any and all persons to be heard in favor of or opposed of the proposed budget, and allow any and all persons for and against any item contained in the proposed budget to be heard and to hear all persons' interest in the proposed budget. Please be aware that a copy of the proposed budget is available at the office of the town clerk, the fire district secretary, where it may be inspected by the interested party during office hours. The proposed budget is also posted on the fire district's website at eastchesterfd.com. More specifically, the fire district budget includes 75 paid firefighters and officers with compensation totaling $8,014,696 and the total proposed budget of $17,266,840. This was also published in the Journal News on October 8th, 2014. Okay. Make a motion to adopt the budget.
I second it.
Aye.
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. That was 7:55. Okay, so we're done. There's no proposed tax cap, so there was no override that was necessary, so we didn't have to vote on that. Like I said, I want to reinforce that the tax levy was reduced by 0.75, and the overall operational budget was reduced by $242,547 for a total of $17,266,840. Okay. Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Could I, Mr. Brown, just one comment that has nothing to do with this. Just want to talk about something real quick that happened the other night. Sunday night, Troop 353 in Eastchester Boy Scouts had their weekly troop meeting. One of the items that was going to be done that night was they had a visit to the Tuckahoe Police Department that they set up through Mayor Eklund, and also the fire department had an engine out there. It was 16. It was Lieutenant Grogan and firefighter Reichel. And they were very accommodating, very nice. In the middle of their demonstration to the boys, they got a call, so they had to pack up and pull out. But they opened up the Tuckahoe station, and I took them in there, gave them a quick tour. Yeah. They were very impressed with the quote-unquote man caves upstairs. There used to be the volunteer offices. This is so cool. And the other thing that they thought was amazing was that there used to be horses in there, and they couldn't get over that. I didn't show them the hayloft, and then the truck came back. They finished the demonstration, put up the ladder, and the boys were very appreciative. And I want to say thank you to the fire department, to the chief and the members. It was a very nice gesture, and it was a very good evening, and you may get some recruits out of it at some point, because most of the boys thought the fire department was pretty cool, but there were a couple kids who were leaning towards the police and asked the police officers to taser a couple guys. I don't understand some of these kids, but one kid said he was all of 8 years old, said, "I'll sign a waiver." So I want to say thank you while we're still on.
And actually, there's two more things that we want to bring up. Peter, do you want to speak to the Tuckahoe ramp?
Yeah, sure. As we mentioned in the last meeting, given delays that we had getting the survey done and now some small additional delays with the drafting and the plans, it's looking increasingly likely that we are not going to commence that project until the spring. That said, we do have, have had a number of people voice concern, and we ourselves have it, over the safety of that ramp in its current condition. So today we met with a local paving contractor who basically made a proposal to put a layer of asphalt over the parts of the ramp and sidewalk that are most unsafe. Petrillo Contracting, they're local. He gave us a price of $1,800. He can do the work within the next week, and it'll take less than 1 full day to complete the work. So we'll be able to roll the trucks back into the house that evening. The board would like to recommend that we allow the chief of department to execute this agreement as an emergency repair on behalf of the district.
Yeah, so the chief has spending power up to $10,000, so there's really no reason even for us to do a resolution on this.
All right.
I think it's important that we've got to recognize, we'll actually see this as a house maintenance issue. And while I've had my fill of temporary repairs, this is needed. It's a very reasonable amount just to get us through the winter because we did run into these issues. This board's desire was to have it done, and I do feel a little more comfortable doing a temporary patch knowing it will be done.
This is
Yeah,
purely
this is
a bridge
6
to a
months.
more comprehensive repair that will begin in the spring.
Yes, it is truly a temporary, I'll call it minor, and I see no reason why I'll handle that as a house maintenance issue.
The other point I wanted to bring up, another point of savings for the taxpayers. The fire district has just been reevaluated by the Insurance Service Office, ISO rating. I'm not expecting everyone to be very familiar with that, but basically it's a rating that the insurance companies use in order to identify the cost of your fire premium within your neighborhood. In the past, Eastchester had an ISO rating of 3. It's actually a scale of 1 through 10, 10 being the worst, 1 being the better. We have now reduced that. We now have an ISO rating of 2. So what I would ask the public to do is if they could reach out to their local insurance companies, make sure that they're aware of that, because you could see an effective decrease in your fire premium. We're also going to be putting out additional information out to the public on the details of that. The report is also up on our website under the fire prevention folder. So if anyone's interested in the details of what was recorded by the Insurance Service Office, that's available on our website as well. So, Chief, I don't know if you have anything to comment on that since it was...
Well, actually, I was going to wait, the regular public meeting.
We'll bring it up again.
And there is, I think we should, yes, in the next 2, we should point it out. I've actually started passing the word, especially with the people doing these big projects. It's important to realize how the individual insurance companies use these numbers. They all use them a little differently. It will be important. Well, first of all, it's not in effect until January 1 of 2015.
Right.
Our rating will go to a 2. After that, I would advise people, your time to renew your insurance, make your agent, make your insurance carrier aware that, first of all, most important thing is because of the different zip codes, that you're in the Eastchester Fire District. This would probably be more important to people up in the north end of town with the Scarsdale Post Office, a 10583 as opposed to a 107 number. Make sure they're looking at the right rating when they calculate their insurance. Again, we'll give more detail. Very, very proud to see that it went up. There's different reasons. ISO did revamp the way they do the rating from some years back. They actually give less. It used to be half of your score was towards the water supply. It's going
Now
to
it's
40.
communications and...
A lot of this, and we're just in there, but what's not reflective, or if you look at the numbers, we actually picked up almost 10 points from 12 years ago. Big part of that is our the fire prevention, the outreach, and the ISO is putting a lot of weight on that, community outreach and how you reach people.
So that's a good point. So a lot of kudos to our fire prevention department. I always hear,
It's worth the investment.
it's working, the smoke trailer that we bring around the school, all the work they did this month. Those are some key reasons why we've...
Safety days,
Right,
the
that's
school
right.
visits.
That we have had this
Room
ISO
for
rating.
improvement, but it's...
Right.
Well,
So just to
we're
give a
moving in the right
perspective of this privilege, there's 50,000 50,000 fire departments in our country. Only 750 fire departments have an ISO rating of 2. So it gives you perspective. And there's only about 80 fire departments in the country that have an ISO rating of 1. So
That's...
so it's pretty, it's pretty impressive, and I think it has to do with the efforts we do, with the manpower as well as with the fire prevention initiatives we got.
There's actually numerous things. One of the things that caught a lot of people off guard was that, we're thinking 60 control the dispatch.
Right.
We actually lost some points in the dispatch area that the county, or the commissioner at least, was very surprised at, and he's already started putting things in place to correct that. It's as far as having protocols in place for a dispatch. They have them for EMS, but apparently they never really adopted one for fire, and it came as a surprise. But luckily, we had enough mean, I'll say, with everything, testing, and while we still have room, we're moving the right way. And yes, fire prevention, our code enforcement fire and prevention office played a big part in getting us over that. that
I was at the
threshold.
VFW tonight, and two of the members came up to me and complimented me on the fire prevention
Yeah.
guys, and like, oh, they're great, they come over, and they follow up, and they're polite, so kudos to
Oh,
them.
they are. A lot of people get nervous when they get that letter to be inspected, but they're
Well,
just
yeah.
there to help. We're not looking to hurt. We're just,
No, somebody who's smart actually welcomes that, because it's,
yes.
you know, it's a
And
professional
it should be
eyes on.
something that they can present to their insurance carrier.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're ready to close the meeting then?
Election?
Oh,
We still have time, you still have time if you're sitting out there in TV land at home and you want to come up here and
fill some of these seats.
fill some of these seats. So get your petitions in. What's the deadline?
October,
Oh, it's November.
November.
21 days from, I can't remember the
Usually
date.
right around Thanksgiving. I don't know the exact date.
So
20,
beat the Christmas rush.
can't remember the date.
Black
Yes.
Friday.
Get your name on a lawn sign.
Yes. You too can sit up here and have a snappy name tape.
Okay, so we're going to adjourn the meeting, 9:05. Motion to
8:05.
adjourn- 8:05 to adjourn the meeting.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second?
You're the chairman.
Aye.
Aye.